Hello and welcome to another video. In this one, I'm going to be giving a movie review, which I actually have not done for a while now on this channel, so I'm looking forward to doing this one, and especially for this film because that's one of my favorite films to probably come out of this year. It is a documentary, and we're going to be talking about the movie John Candy, I Like Me. Now, I'm not always the one to go out of my way to seek out a documentary, but I do typically enjoy them, and especially when it's one on a topic that I'm passionate about and interested in. And when it comes to John Candy, I was a 90s kid, so I grew up with this guy on a lot of the movies that I watched growing up. And so I just was super excited at the idea of a documentary going through his life because I followed him mostly in the 90s. And so I just kind of saw the tail end of his movie career and have gone back a little bit into the 80s here and there, but I hadn't seen a lot of the stuff that really kicked off his career, got him started, all that kind of stuff. So the documentary just released last week on Prime Video. So if you have Prime Video, go ahead, check it out and watch it. It's a really, really well done documentary. It encompasses really his entire life. It starts from his childhood and his upbringing, his family life, that kind of stuff. And then it quickly moves into his early career when he was in his 30s and so 20s and 30s really, and it just kind of focuses on his time in Canada and the different shows that he was a part of. He was on a show that was kind of like a Canadian version of SNL, so that was kind of where he started getting a lot of his improv and talent and skill with that kind of stuff. And so it was just really cool to see the formation of where a lot of that comes from, his natural talent versus what he kind of learned through different roles and people he worked with. And then eventually it moves into his Hollywood career and the movies that he started starring in. And there's a number of films of his that I haven't had a chance to check out yet that I do need to, just because, you know, I love this guy. Who doesn't love John Candy? So I do need to dip into more of his filmography, but I was really excited to see not only that it included the stuff that I was familiar with, but the stuff I was unfamiliar with. So the documentary as a whole does a really good job capturing, I mean, it's not an easy task to capture someone's life who, you know, in his case was a shorter life than the average person at 40 or so years old, but to be able to capture that and encompass it in a film is not an easy task. So I thought they did a really great job with that. The pacing of the documentary feels really good throughout. I feel like you spend just enough time in each kind of segment and portion of his life, and then certain segments will kind of overlap with each other depending on what kind of stuff he was dealing with in that time of his life, what kind of films he was involved in. So it was just really cool. You get a lot of really neat interviews with a lot of the actors and producers and directors that have worked with him in the past. You had Steve Martin, you had Bill Murray, you had Catherine Hahn. So just a lot of really great actors who not only were great in movies with him, but were friends with him outside of the films that they worked on together. So it was really cool to get to hear the stories through them. The production on the film was really great as well. They did a good job of, you know, having good sets for the different interviews. They integrated the stories that they were telling really well with the footage and the B-roll that they had of him. You get to hear a few stories of things that you had not heard before. I mean, obviously in my case, there's a lot I haven't heard about him necessarily because I didn't grow up entirely with his career, but there's some new exclusive interviews and behind the scenes footage from some different movies and things that are involved with his career that was really cool to get to see for the first time in the documentary. So I mean, it's kind of weird reviewing a documentary, I guess, because you're not necessarily rating the performances. You're looking at the archival footage that they utilize, the interviews that they utilize, the flow of it all, the pacing, the quality of the stories that they're telling, and how well it kind of relates to and ties to the story that they're trying to tell through the documentary. So I don't typically, this might even be the first time I've reviewed a documentary on my channel, but I thoroughly enjoyed it and I really loved it. And I also wanted to talk about it because I really haven't seen anyone else out there, at least on my letterbox, watch this movie and check it out. So I wanted to recommend it because it's really great. If you have Prime Video, it's on there. You can give it a watch. I gave the movie a 4 out of 5. I thought it was really great, and it's definitely one that I would enjoy watching again. I'm enjoying recommending to people to check out because as it comes with John Candy, who doesn't love John Candy? So I I've thoroughly enjoyed recommending it to people, even just myself, and the little bit of his career that my childhood was a part of, and the nostalgia that I have for him had me in tears in the first 5 minutes of the movie. So it's just a wholesome, really, really well done movie and documentary. So I would love to hear from you. If you have seen the movie, let me know what you thought of it in the comments down below, and share some of your favorite John Candy movies down there. I'll definitely be commenting down below with some of my favorite picks. I would love to hear yours as well. Thank you for sticking around to the end of this video. I will see you in the next one.